two terrifying true stories by subscribers. This first one was submitted by Matthew Gridley. This happened July 14th, 2016. Me, my sister and my brother's friend went to this abandoned house at my old neighbourhood to do a photo shoot. My brother's friend is a photographer and wanted some pictures for his Instagram. So we went to the abandoned house. We would always pass by while driving. There was an old mattress in the backyard, an animal's skull under the front porch, dead animals all around the house, and so much more creepy shit. There was a cornfield right next to the house, so we decided to take some pictures near there. As we were taking the pictures, I look to my left and I see a man with suspenders, a hat, sitting in a carriage with no top on. I can't explain what it looked like, but I'm going to assume it was a carriage. He was facing the other way, so his back was towards us. My sister and my brother's friend just brushed it off and took some pictures of the cornfield. I was very curious to see who this was, so I walked a little closer to the man, and he just slowly turns his head and stares at me, a blank face for the longest time. I started to feel a little freaked out by the fact that he's just sitting there staring at us, not even moving at all. In the end, we all get a little freaked out and started to walk back to the way we came from. As we're walking back, we heard the loudest gunshot I've ever heard in my life. We all ran for our lives, so fast that I could have tripped at any moment. About 30 seconds passed of us running and we finally stopped and take a minute to process what the fuck had just happened. The gunshot was so loud and clear, it sounded like it was inches away from us. We took a second to breathe because all of us were out of breath. As we had processed what had just happened, I looked around to see the man running towards us. My heart dropped, and we instantly ran faster than we've ever ran. I was so out of breath I felt like I was going to pass out at any moment. I wanted to stop to take a second to breathe, but we couldn't. The man was still sprinting towards us after what felt like an hour of running. We finally stopped. The man was nowhere to be seen. We felt so relieved and sat down. Then we realised we didn't even recognise where we were. We were lost. We must have run so far, but we didn't even know where we were. As we were walking down the road, we found a gas station and decided to stop there to get something to eat. We all walked in and we all went different ways in the store and grabbed what we wanted. We were still sweating and breathing super heavy, so the girl at the cash register asked us what was wrong. We told her the whole story as we bought our stuff and went outside to the back of the store. We then sat down to eat our stuff. The lady came outside with a cigarette and told us that the man's wife had died of a heart attack a few years ago and is extremely depressed and has some mental issues. Said that he tries to kill anyone who steps foot on his property. She then said that he comes into the store to buy cigarettes and gives her nasty looks every time. We all looked at each other, shocked at the fact that if we hadn't run fast enough we could have been killed. We were eventually able to call someone to pick us up, said bye to the lady and got home safely. This second story is by LoveStump94. He sent me this via Reddit. In his own words, he says, "This might be a little underwhelming. To me it wasn't that bad. Anyway, here goes. So it's the story of how I was catfished. So we matched, and we messaged each other and decided to meet. I was 20 at the time and she was around the same age. I agreed to pick her up and take her back to my place to hang out and chill. This is my first time meeting up with a stranger on the internet, ever. So I head over to her place and waited for her to walk out after yelling her out, "I am outside." Once she'd walked out, I immediately knew something was off. Not only did she not look like her pictures, which was of a Hispanic-looking woman with darker features, and she was with dirty blonde hair. Her pale skin, light-coloured eyes, and much more heavy set than the woman she had portrayed to be. She was much older looking, maybe mid-30s, so already uncomfortable and awkward, right from the get-go. She not only acted like she had not in any way tricked or deceived, but was extremely flirtatious the moment she came into my car. Well, me being the nice guy I am, and not confrontational, I decided, hey well, let's just proceed like I normally would have. And who knows, maybe she will be a cool person. Long story short, we hung out and smoked some pot and she broke my bong. Clearly didn't know what she was doing, not even sure if she had ever smoked before to begin with. And then asked if she could stay the night. Had not even been here an hour. Told her no with a lame excuse, then decided it better cut it short with another lame excuse and offered her a ride home. It went fairly well until she asked me if she could see me again, to which I escorted her to the front door and began explaining how I was uncomfortable because I felt she'd deceived me in a way. And I had been pretty civil about it, but I had to confront it at some point or another. The next part confused me. She left it off and pretty much said it's okay, you're too short anyways. I'm 5'5", 130 pounds, her about 5'7" maybe, 180 or more, I'm not sure. She then closed the door and locked her. As I said, it's nothing too crazy, but it was my first time meeting anyone from the internet and probably will be my last.